Hey guys, Steve from Midmasters here, and today I'm going to show you how to put a new fuel tank in your F-150. So if you've been watching the channel for the past week or so, you probably saw a video of me undercoating a brand new fuel tank. The undercoating's finished. If you want to see how to do that, go and have a look at the video. You just go through my little list of videos. And who knows, maybe I'll put a little link here at the bottom of the video or something like that, or somewhere. Anyway, I have the tank ready to go. I've lined up everything. And here's what I have. So we have our freshly undercoated tank. I mean, look at it, just glimmers, nice and clean, ready to accept the fuel pump, ring, and lock. And we're ready to have our filler and put in there. And I've just laid everything out. You know, it's not typical of me to get everything ready and lay it out, but this time I really wanted to, because you know it's really a pain to like go from here to the little toolbox back to the truck toolbox, and it just gets a pain. So I laid out everything. When you drop a fuel tank, these are the two straps that hold it up in place. They were in really bad condition, so I took a wire wheel to those, knocked off all the rusts. I treated them with OSPO, which takes the rust and it changes it to iron phosphate, which is a non-rusting type of metal. And I painted these with black epoxy chassis paint. So I started those a couple days ago, so I wiped them down with the OSPO, let them dry for the day, and then yesterday I painted these, so they're all ready to go. Of course, they have 4 bolts to hold those on. The rest of the stuff is fuel pump things. So interesting thing about Fords, and if you watch my fuel tank video on how to do the little hatch to get to the midship fuel tank, you notice I had these little tools here, and typically there's 4 of them. I don't need there's a smaller one that's black, but in a Ford, the fuel lines are connected. One piece slips into the other and there's a little like lock ring. Well, this is how you get those apart. And currently I have the fuel tank, the fuel pump still hanging there, and it's those connector pieces right there. Get on here better for you. That you'll need this tool for. So typically how it works is you take this, wrap it around, and then you'll put it in, and then you'll jimmy with it a little bit, and they'll come apart. So in order to keep this fuel tank, because you can tell it's newer because the float isn't a piece of brass, and it still works, I wanted to keep it. And so I just left it all plugged in there, so no water or anything else will get the fuel lines. And this way I don't have to solder a new wiring harness for it. But the problem is I had to get a new lock ring on here, and here's the old lock ring, which I bent to get off, and this thing's super rusty. I can cut it off, but I still need to put the new one on, so I'll have to completely detach the fuel pump, put the lock ring on there, put everything back in, and then I can end up sliding the tank in here. Another thing that's going to put on this tank is this. It is a fuel vent. So this probably goes up here and vents to the atmosphere so that you don't have any trouble with it, and or create too much pressure and doesn't feed. And then on this side of the tank is where you will run to your fuel filler, and that will come right over this section, and then I just use a hose clamps in. So another thing, these are the straps up here. Like I said, they rust. As you can see, they show evidence of such. I didn't do anything with those. I probably could have taken them down, but whatever, you know. This is also a good time to check your frame here. This is overall not too bad. A little bubbly, but still pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to slide the new tank in here, get this all hooked up and ready to bolt in, and then I'll bring you guys back so you can look at it. Alright, so I got everything hooked up and in. So I may have misled you before. I didn't bring the tank in and then hook everything up. I actually pulled the tank out, hooked the fuel pump, installed the fuel pump, and then hooked it up to the lines. And they're real simple. They just clip into each other. They just push in, they snap, and then they have these outside pieces, that just clip around, and they're kind of a safety feature. This thing here is a little bit of a bugger to get in there. So what you'll want to do with it is use a flathead screwdriver, and you go around the edge and you kind of just pry it into place. So I went around like you just slowly work your way around and you'll get it in there. Not too big of a deal. Now the other big pain in my butt is this lock ring. Now supposedly there are special wrenches for this to make it easier to get it in. I don't have one of those and I have time to run out. And then clearly this is my daily driver, so I'm kind of stuck. So I had to make do. The big thing you're trying to overcome is these pieces of metal here. They have to slip under that little tab, and they just have a hard time starting off. So what I did is I went to the leading piece. You see this shiny piece, that leading edge there? And I actually bent them down a little bit, which helps them slip under this tab easier. So I bent them all down, and then using a bolt and a hammer, I just tapped at these crown pieces, and I tapped it all the way into place and really locked it in there. And so now it's pretty tight. If you don't really lock this in tight, you will have a fuel leak and you'll have to drop your tank. Or you can watch my other video and you can learn how to put a hatch in so you can access it. Now this is a rear tank, so I don't have a video on that, but if you follow the same principle, you can figure it out. So I'm going to push the tank up into its place, hook it up to the fuel filler pipe there, bolt it in, and show you the finished install. So I'll see you after that. All right, so I'm under here and I'm in the middle of install. As you can see, I don't have it up. So I put my bolts through and I've got my piece here ready to go up. And I'm actually supporting it with my knee. That's how I'm holding it up until I get it positioned and kind of loosely bolted in. But here's the trick here. So your fuel filler is this piece here, and there is a rubber hose that is hose clamped to this end, and then hose clamps at this end to your fuel tank, and then this plastic thing actually goes into your tank. And you can't put this all in together. So what I did is I hose clamped that, almost looks like a radiator hose. I hose clamped that onto the tank and then push the tank up into place. And so the end's exposed there. So then once the tank is bolted into place, then you can slide that in and put the hose clamp on it. It's much easier that way. So, okay, now to get back to bolting this into place. All right, so I got everything in place. I got the filler tube where it needs to be. Fuel tank is up and bolted. Everything's working like a charm. So, as long as you keep those steps in mind that I told you, you'll have no problem getting this in here. I've worked out the kinks. One thing, keep a can of undercoat around because you will scrape some off this trying to get it in. As you can see, it's gotten dirty for me just getting dirty fingerprints all over the thing. So I usually went around and I'll just give a little spray, and hopefully that kind of keeps the rust from starting someplace and working its way through. So anyway, that's all for me, guys. This is Steve from the Mint Masters. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Stevie here. If you like this video, go right down below, give me a big thumbs up. Please share this video and all my other videos with your fellow gearheads. And if you want to see my videos as soon as they come out and get one of those nice little notifications, subscribe to my video by clicking on the icon right over here. And please check out any one of my other videos. There might be something in there that you might enjoy. See you around.